This is just, day is what? June 9th, 2021. I'm messing around with my drone. An old drone that I took apart, doesn't really fly anymore. But I'm kind of just experimenting with electronics, trying to learn some stuff. I'm currently in this class run by Mark Rober that he's doing, and I remembered that I had this whole thing, and I figured to take it apart for the motors. But I figured I'd probably learn a lot, before really the class gets into this. So yeah, I'm just experimenting. Is this working? Yes, it is. All right. So basically, what I've learned so far, right? So the battery that I have plugged in over here plugs into this guy right here that I can kind of take out of its little casing, plugs into this guy, right? And these two thick wires, they run underneath to the back of the board, and I figure that's where all the power goes to. So I figure if I took this off, stripped it a little bit, and then attached really any two wires to it, I could probably get something to run. But before I do that, I'm going to experiment with how the board itself works, right? This little thing, this is a switch here that was originally the on and off switch for the drone. So when it's plugged in, it's currently in the off position, but when it's plugged in and I switch it on, you'll see these lights come on. I'll actually do that now. I'm kind of just uploading this to kind of track my own thought process, to memorize what I'm learning, right? So I plugged in the battery there. You can see plugged into that hub, and then here I'm going to be switching it into the on position, and then if we hold it here, right, there you can see a few flashes, and then it should start flashing in 1 second. Come on, work, please. There we go. So yeah, so right now it's doing what it's programmed to do. Oh, ignore that, that wasn't supposed to pop out. That's okay though. Right now it's doing what it's programmed to do. Yeah, so. Okay. Okay, so then, ignore that, that's my dad. So my thought process, right, is these motors, right, generally you connect this to a remote control, which is down there, that doesn't work, and I'm not gonna bother messing with that at all. But my thought process is that if these lights turn on, kind of on their own, right? When the power is when the switch turns on, I'm wondering that if I were to hook up a motor, if I were to unplug, the lights from, if I were to unplug the wires that lead to the lights from the lights, and I were to instead take the wires from the motor and plug those in, if that would then cause the motor to turn on. So I'm gonna turn this off, and I'm gonna unplug it, keep charging it, just because I'm pretty sure it's still pretty low on battery. So I'm gonna keep charging it, and then, I do want to take this slow. I hope my phone doesn't die. I'm actually gonna check with the charge. It says 62%. We're fine. I hope there's no limit on charging. And so basically, we are going to, I guess, detach the motor. What's nice about this is that there's two of each side, so if these things are programmed differently, I can kind of figure that out as I go. So I'm going to start by taking apart the not taking apart. I'm going to start by detaching this black and white wire, which attached to this motor in the back. Yeah, and there's a propeller attached here that's not currently there anymore. So I'm going to start by taking these off. I don't think I'm just going to pull it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of separate them out from the rest of it a little bit. Can work on popping that motor out of place later. I think I'm just going to take a pair of scissors, or rather These tiny scissors should work fine, and I think I'm just going to cut them as they are. Yep, that's one. Alright, so I just cut the black wire, and boom, there's two. So I think now my next step is going to be, seeing if I can strip those at all. I remember seeing a trick where you can kind of just take something sharp and lightly drag it along it to strip the wire. Oh, wow, that worked really, really well. So yeah, I kind of just used this edge of these scissors, right? Dragged it along the outside, and you can see I kind of stripped the wire a little bit. So I'm just going to toss that out, right? And then I'm going to take the other one, and I'm going to strip that one as well. I'm leaving the motor in its housing, better to be safe than sorry. Yeah, I mean, I doubt, they're not very strong. Nothing could really go wrong here. Worst case, I get a little bit of a shock. This isn't exactly the strongest system, so I doubt I'll be experiencing much pain if something does go wrong. Yeah. So this is kind of being a bit harder, but that's okay. I am trying to strip off a little more than I did of the last one. Yep, there's part of it. We're going to try and strip down a little more. Boom. Oh, I think I actually took off some of the wire there. So that's not what we want to happen. So I'm going to go slower. Yeah, so you can kind of see I stripped it. I took off some of the wire there. So I think I'm just going to try and spread this out a little more and just go at it much slower. This video is going to be very, very long, but oh well. Come on. Dude, come on. Okay. And I'm really not planning on anyone watching this. I'm kind of just documenting this for my own personal use later if I ever feel like it. Not that I will, but okay. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the other method of kind of trying to pinch it off. Okay, so yeah, so we exposed a decent portion of that wire. So now, right, so that's the wires attached to this little motor right here. So I'm actually gonna throw out the pieces that I stripped, Don't want to lose those and have them ending up all over the place. Don't think a wire sticking anywhere would be fun. So now, I'm hoping this doesn't compromise any of the board itself. It shouldn't, because I'm not really touching the board at all. But now, right, I'm going to take this also front right side, this front right light, which, as I showed earlier, turns on automatically when I apply power to the system. So I think what we're going to do right here is we're going to do kind of the same thing that we just did. And we're going to take this red and black wire, and we're going to detach it from the back, from the back of this light. And to do that, think first things first. I'm actually going to see if I can pop out this light casing. Yeah, so we took off that light casing, and if I look closely here, I can see what looks like, I can see exactly where these lights are attaching. I don't think this will come up on video, but I can kind of see that right at the end of the red wire, it looks like there's a little plus symbol, which makes me think that it's a positive end, which I think, I mean, to my knowledge, you know, has something to do with like electronics and whatnot. Yeah, actually, now that I'm looking at this, it looks like all of these have a positive and a negative end. Well, yeah, it actually does. So that's interesting. I didn't notice that before. So see, all the video's already working out. I'm learning, which is kind of the whole point of this experiment. Because I really don't know anything about electronics. So I think I'm going to leave this light on. You know, the other ones I think I'll leave intact, but I think I'm gonna leave the light on and just clip the wires. So we're gonna clip those black and red wires, boom. So yeah, cut those out. Good to go. And now we are going to I think, you know, after I'm done with this first experiment, I'm going to cut the video there. Right now I'm peeling apart the wires because they were kind of stuck together. I was going to show you that briefly. You can kind of see they're stuck together. So I'm just peeling them apart, you know, separate them, make them easier for me to deal with. So one thing I noticed is that it's kind of hard to tell if the motor wires have a positive and negative side, because for the most part it looks like it's just the light wires, but I think, you know, if I look at the board, right, these red and blue wires are attached to a motor, and if it looks like, you know, there's an M2 plus and an M2 minus, so I'm assuming that's meaning positive and negative. And then on the wires that I clipped, I can vaguely see it should be on the left. It looks like an M minus or an M1 minus, and so that leads me to believe that the thing that's kind of obstructed is an M1 plus. Yeah. Oh, okay. Here, I'll just come and grab them. Wait, are you like right here? Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Okay. Food. I will actually. I'm gonna put that down here. I will eat those later because I'm very invested in this right now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So now, right, we're gonna get to work on stripping. I just want to double check and make sure. Yeah, I got the right ones. So yeah, if I actually look, I can kind of see how these black and red ones are actually, you know, there's two other black and red ones right here. If I look, these are the two that I detached right here. And if I look at where they attach on the base, there's another set of black and red wires that go to the other red light. And there's also kind of a stray black wire here, which I'm going to ignore. I don't believe that does anything or serves a purpose. Actually, no. I think I know exactly what that is. That says ANT on it, and I bet you that's the antenna. I bet you that's the antenna that does the wireless receiving. That's actually really cool. I never really like looked at these this closely when I kind of knew what they were attached to. This is really cool. I bet that's the antenna. So yeah, so now we're gonna try and strip these, and you know, it's looking like the white one, it's from what I can see, you know, on the board here, the one where I clipped the white one from is the one where I think the plus is, and it looks like that the red wire is attached to the plus right there. I don't know if this is showing up, but it looks like that red wire is attached to the plus. So I think I'm going to start by trying the white and red wire, and so red to white and black to black as my first experiment. I'm just going to check the video, make sure it's still going, and we're 15 minutes in. Oh boy. That's okay. Yeah. So we're going to try and pull these two. Well, actually, yeah, I'm just going to, all right, I'm not really doing much here. I'm just taking these black and white wires, right? Right now they're kind of in their casing. I'm just going to push them and pull them through here so they kind of, I can move them around more. And now, yeah, I'm gonna leave that at that. Yeah, so now they're a bit more free, And just checking again, no, it doesn't look like there's really much any labeling on the back of the motor. So yeah, now next goal, stripping the black and the red wire that was previously attached to the front right light. We're actually going to try using some regular scissors, because I get the feeling those might be a bit better. And it looks like my feeling was right. So that's one of them, you know, partially done. We're going to try and see if we can strip a little more. And one thing I'm noticing is that, well, the wire to the motor looked like they were spun. You know, like some silvery thing. Like it's not silver, I don't think. But you know, it has a silver color to it, and it looks like, here, I'll show that. Right, so this is the white wire, and it kind of has like a silvery color on it, whereas the black wire that was attached to the light has a copper color. I'm assuming that's just copper wire. Oh, I just dropped the light casing. That's okay. That's not important. So we're gonna try and strip a little more off. Perfect. That's, yeah, these scissors are working way better for stripping. So yeah, I got a little more of the black wire exposed. And now that I look a little closer, it also looks like it's spun, you know, like a bunch of wires twisted together. But yeah, it doesn't seem like it's the same. You know, I wish I had like a tripod or something that I could use to document this better. I think this is working fine. You know, I kind of just tell you what I'm doing and you can see the aftermath. I mean, when I'm stripping it, I'm kind of just pinching it like that and then twisting and then pulling the end off. I don't think that's super important though. You know, like I said before, this is mostly for me, so I'm kind of talking to myself right here, which is totally fine, of course. You know, all in the name of science. Okay, so that's a part of the red one off, and you know, I could probably just stop here. I think I actually am going to take a little more off the white wire that was attached to the motor, just for the sake of kind of making this easier. And it actually looks like the motor itself isn't really stuck to its casing anymore. So if I wanted to, I could probably take it out for this experiment, but I don't think I will. Oh yeah, there we go. I got some more of the white one. You know, I'm also going to trim the black wire because a part of it, when I cut off the wire earlier, you know, part of it is kind of just sticking out on its own. And I don't really like that, so I'm going to trim it just a little bit. Oh, and that kind of went flying, which hopefully doesn't bite me in the butt in the long run. You know, I step on it later, because that would kind of hurt, I'd imagine, if that like stuck into my foot. I should be fine. You know, I have, where's my magnet thing? This is a bunch of magnets I have from earlier. I'm just going to try and go around the ground really quick. See if I pick anything up. And it doesn't look like I did, which is totally cool. You know, I didn't really expect to grab anything. This is kind of just handy in case I ever drop anything metal. That's not metal. Yeah, doesn't look like I got the wire at all, which is a bummer, but oh well. I'm actually just gonna go a little farther just to be safe, because if I could find that now, that would be very, very nice, but I don't think I will. So yeah, we're just gonna stop there. Yeah, that's okay. I don't really care that much. That thing is going to be very useful. Okay, sorry, got sidetracked. Now, important part is, right, so we have the, actually no, I'm gonna strip a little more of the black wire. Yeah, I'm gonna strip just a little more of this guy, and then we're gonna do it. We're gonna fully send it. No, not quite. No. There we go, perfect. Okay. So yeah, I'd say all of these are more than exposed enough. You know, I think, does that come out easily? Yeah, look, that's our little motor right there. That's perfect. It's attached to a little gear, that would spin. So this motor, right? Just actually, oh yeah, I'm going to demonstrate this. So this motor right here was in this little housing, and what it does is it goes in here, right? It was stuck in there, and then that tiny gear that was on the end comes up and attaches to this larger gear, which and then that larger gear and goes in and attaches to this right here, which is where one of the propellers that I have down here was screwed onto. Yeah, so I think I am gonna take off. How do I get this out? Yeah, I'm gonna take out the motor for this experiment. Just because I have a little bit more ability to move it around. Ignore that sound. That was just one of the screws from earlier coming out that decided to stay stuck inside the housing. But that's okay. I have a little bag of stuff from this earlier that I'm kind of just dropping away. So right now, we're gonna do what I think is probably going to be the second most interesting part. Well, not really interesting, but I'm gonna enjoy this. One of these parts, one of the most. So right now, I believe I said earlier, right? It looks like white is positive. White was attached to the positive end, and red was attached to the positive end. So I think I could have that backwards, but so basically what I'm gonna do is, well, actually, if I look back, yeah, red was attached positive over here. So yeah, I think I'm gonna. When I say that, I have so it says the red is the positive end both on the board and on the light that it was originally attached to. So that makes me think that, positive to positive. And if white is positive on the board, then that means it must be positive on the motor. So I'm that's my logic there. Oh, is this magnetic by itself? It is. The motor is magnetic. I did not know that. That's pretty cool. I have no idea why it would need to be magnetic. My guess is for how it works, it probably uses electromagnetism. That's really cool though. There you go, learned something new. Motor's magnetic. Anyways, right, so now I'm just gonna try and twist together these, the red and the white wire. So we're gonna see how that goes. And not really. Okay, so it looks like I'm gonna have to strip quite a bit more off of both if I want to do this easily. So it looks like that's what I'll be doing for the next minute. So yeah, just bear with me. It's just gonna be much easier if I can strip a lot more. Perfect. Okay, so I kind of frayed the wire a bit there. Not frayed, but you can see I kind of spread it out a little, which isn't ideal. I can make an attempt to twist that back together, which I just did, which worked somewhat. And yeah, I'm gonna strip the white wire. I think I'm just gonna strip every wire a little more, as I do this, because I feel like it'll make it quite a bit easier to kind of wrap them together. So that's what I'm doing. I'm stripping the white wire some more. Perfect. And then I'm gonna strip the black wire some more. I definitely don't want to accidentally rip the wire. My hands are getting kind of sweaty. I don't want to sweat a lot because that would just make things harder. I almost cut the wire, but it looks like I successfully got it. Perfect. Okay. And now just the black wire that was attached to the light and still attached to the board, which is one of the copper ones. Perfect. And that's that. So now we're going to once again attempt to attach white to red. Yeah, so let's see. So yeah, I'm gonna be very careful with this. It's not a perfect connection, but that should do. I'm getting very excited now. Yeah, so those are attached to each other. So yeah, I'm just gonna try and wrap those last few copper bits around all the way, you know, just maximize the connection. Yeah, so that's, oh, okay. All right, that's exciting. That's one part done. So now we're gonna attempt to attach the two black wires. And this is purely experimental, you know, I might turn this on, this motor might not work at all, and you know, that could be for any number of reasons that I just don't know yet. And you know, I think my first thing after this would be trying to switch the wires that are attached. You know, in the long run, I think I'm going to fully take this apart and see if I can just go directly from battery to motor. But that'll be another video. Oh, God, I sound like a YouTuber. That's funny. Yeah, I think I'm going to upload all my experiments to YouTube. I don't see why not. You know, now that I think of it, you know, I uploaded that first video, I realized how easy it was, and I think it's just a good idea. You know, you can learn a lot just by messing around, and if I ever feel like I forgot something that I used to know, you know, I can always go back and try and remember what I learned. So yeah, right now I'm kind of attaching black to black. That's the goal of what I'm doing right now, and this went much smoother, and boom, already we're done. Well, I'm kind of just finishing up the touches. Well, yeah, I'm not really done yet. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna pick up the phone for this one. I probably should have been doing this before, because I don't know if you guys can really see, or if I can see what I'm really showing here. So there we go. That's the, trying to focus on my hand there. That's the black wires attached. That's the red and white wires attached. Yeah, so all that's really left now, I'm just kind of just looking at the battery. Actually, looks like it's, you know, down there. Looks like it's fully charged. But yeah, so I'm going to, boom, do that. All right, this is kind of nerve-wracking, I'm not gonna lie. I'm sweating, that's just because it's hot. I have my air conditioner, but I don't want to turn it on because that's loud. Yeah, so the motor, right, is kind of just sitting right there. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna unplug the battery, right? The switch is currently in the off position. All right, we're gonna take the battery. We're gonna be very careful about plugging that in, right? We're gonna go very slow. We're gonna plug that in. And here we go. I mean, I guess, so ideally, if my hypothesis, you know, if what I'm thinking is correct, the motor will trigger the same time that the lights trigger. So when the lights do that flashing, the motor will also go zzz, 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 zzz. That's what I'm thinking. And that is what we are about to find out. So, all right. I'm going to very quickly, I'm trying to think how I can do this at the same time. I'm going to I think for now my best bet is to just kind of, sure, you know, I'll put this here so in the distance, you know, you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm working right here, switch is right here. So I'm going to very quickly turn this on and then reach to grab my phone and record. So, boom. Oh, God, it worked. It's working. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, so it's not doing, oh, that's so cool. Oh my God. Okay, that worked. Oh my God, that's so cool. I turned it off there. So it doesn't look like it's following the same pattern as the lights. It looks like it's kind of just going. So we're gonna turn that back on. No, it is following the same pattern as the lights. I was right, because there's a delay there. Okay. Oh, dude, this is so cool. Come here, hold up. Yeah, come check this out. So, okay, I'm recording myself just because I think it's cool. I know, you doing it. Okay, so what I did was, so this motor, right, it was kind of set up the same way. So cool. Oh my God. So basically, this motor is attached to this board, right? So this motor is pretty much the same as this one. Okay. So black and white wires are attached to this board. Yeah. If you look kind of closely, not really on this one, but you can kind of see like all around there's like positive and negative ends, right? You see the plus and the minus. And so basically, what I did was, so because the remote doesn't work, I basically knew that without the remote, the motors won't turn on ever, but the lights do when you just flip the switch, right? The lights turn on their own.
Yeah.
Right, just to show that it's on. And so I figured that if the motor was attached to the same circuit that the lights are on, that the motor would go on instead of the lights, right? Because so here I detached, so this red and black one went to the lights.
Yeah.
And what I did was I detached those from the lights, and then I stripped the wires and I like twisted them together, right? And if you look here at that, right? If you look, you kind of have to reach in, but like on the red one, see how the red one at the base of the red wire there, you can kind of see a plus sign at the top.
Yeah.
Right at the like right there.
Okay.
Right, you see the plus sign at the
here?
top? Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
So I figured that would be significant. So then I looked over here to where the red wire came from, and there's like a D plus. So I figured plus to plus, minus to minus, and so that's why I have red to white and black to black, and not just because of colors.
Yeah.
So basically, that led me to look over here, where the motor wires were attached.
Yeah.
And you can't really see a plus, but on this one there's a minus.
Yeah.
So I figured I'll attach minus to minus, which ended up being black to black. And then I figured you can't really tell because it looks like it's just blocked or whatever.
Yeah.
But
plus
I'm assuming there was a plus there. So then I did red to white. And my thought is that if the motor is hooked up to the same circuit as the lights, then it would flick on and off as the lights flicked on and off.
Okay.
And when I first turned it on, that didn't appear to be the case because the lights turned on almost instantly, so I didn't really have time to tell. But the second time, where I got kind of excited there, like really excited, there was a delay between when the light, like I flipped the switch, but nothing happened for like half a second.
Yeah.
But then the second the lights turned on, so did the motor. So basically, what my hypothesis was right, and I just thought it was really cool. So basically, right. So I'm just saying, right, so I just feel like explaining it.
Yeah.
So basically, because the motor is hooked up to the same circuit that the lights are, it goes on when the lights go on.
Yeah.
You see, there's a delay, and then it turned on, right? And if the lights... You hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's pulsing with the lights.
It's intermittent, yeah, it's a broken
signal.
signal.
It's pulsing. I'm just going to show that. So as you can see, so the lights are pulsing, and you can hear, so is the motor. That's so cool.
Nice.
That's so cool, dude. I'm so glad I decided to do this. Whew, all right. Yeah, I'm going to cut the video there. That was a success. That was a fantastic success. I'm so excited. That's awesome. Holy crap. Okay. Yeah.